Question 5. 4 different cells were observed under a microscope, and the observations were recorded in the table below. We are supposed to look for statements which are correct based on the observations. The table shows which cell parts are present or absent in the 4 different cells. Let's take a look at the first column here, the cell wall. Now, what is the function of the cell wall? The cell wall helps to give the cell a regular shape. And which cell is the cell wall found in? Plant cells or animal cells? The cell wall is found in plant cells. So if you take a look at the table, which 2 cells have this cell wall? You have cell E and cell F. So since these 2 cells have the cell wall, would that make them plant cells or animal cells? We know immediately that these 2 cells would be plant cells. What about cells G and H, where the cell wall is absent? Would these be plant cells or animal cells? Since the cell wall is absent in these 2 cells, G and H would be animal cells. Let's take a look at the second cell part, the cell membrane. Is the cell membrane found in both plant and animal cells? Yes, it is. So if you take a look at the column, all the cells E to H have the cell membrane. So it's not very useful for us to use this part to distinguish the cells. What about the third cell part, the nucleus? 3 of the cells have the nucleus. But look at cell H. The nucleus is missing in cell H. There's only one cell that we have learned where the nucleus is not present. And what cell is that? We know the nucleus is absent in the red blood cell. I'm going to use RBC to represent the red blood cell. And finally, we have the last cell part, the chloroplast. Is the chloroplast found in plant cells or animal cells? The chloroplast is found in plant cells. But do all plant cells have the chloroplast? No, the chloroplast is not found in all plant cells. Based on the 2 plant cells that we have learned, the leaf cell and the root cell, which of these 2 cells will have the chloroplast? You have the chloroplast found in the leaf cell. And why is that? Because the chloroplast contains chlorophyll. And what is the chlorophyll used for? The chlorophyll helps to trap light for the plant cells to carry out photosynthesis to make food. Would the root cell need any chloroplast? No. And why is that so? Think about where the root cell is found. Is it found above ground or underground? The root cell is found underground and will not be exposed to any light. So, the root cell does not need any chloroplast to trap light for photosynthesis to make any food. Because that's not the job of the root cell. So, let's take a look at the 2 plant cells, E and F. Plant cell E, the one where chloroplast is present, would that make it the leaf cell or the root cell? Since the chloroplast is present, we know that cell E would be the leaf cell. And what about plant cell F, where chloroplast is absent? That would be the root cell. Now that we've analyzed the 4 cell parts, let's take a look at the statements. Remember, we are looking for statements which are correct. Statement A, cell H cannot reproduce. What is the name of the process of cell reproduction? Cell reproduction is cell division. And what is the name of the cell part that controls all the activities like cell division? Cell division is controlled by the nucleus. Since the nucleus is missing in cell H, is cell H able to go through cell division to reproduce? No, it's not able to reproduce. Hence, statement A is correct. Now let's take a look at statement B. Cell G is the only animal cell. We have already established that there are 2 animal cells. We have cells G and cells H. So, statement B is not true. We also have cell H. The third statement, cells E and F are plant cells. Is that true? Yes, we have already established that cells E and F are plant cells. So statement C is correct. The last statement, cells E and F come from leaves. Is that true? We have already established that cell E is the leaf cell. What about cell F? Cell F is the root cell, the one with no chloroplast. So I'm going to write down here, cell F is the root cell. So this is not true. So, since we are looking for statements which are correct, That gives us option number 1, statements A and C only.